Boogeyman sucks. Is it good for entertainment at least? I don't know. Maybe. It came out around that time where studios were pumping money into anything that sounded anywhere close to The Ring or The Grudge. Some sort of evil spirit haunting a town and terrorizing residents. Usually these movies had a gimmick. Dead Silence had a ventriloquist who came back for revenge and used puppets. Darkness Falls had a creature, woman, witch thing who was sensitive to light, but she was invincible in the darkness. Sounds kind of like another movie. Side note here. Darkness Falls is actually a pretty good movie. It's not The Exorcist or Hereditary, but I'd say it's worth watching. Anyway, Boogeyman is about a small town being haunted by the Boogeyman. Actually, it seems specific to the main character, Tim, whose father was killed by the Boogeyman when he was a child. Since nobody believes him, he's been living in fear, taking precautions to keep the Boogeyman away. He doesn't have doors on his closets. His mattress is directly on the floor. It's literally what Darkness Falls did 2 years earlier. So, for some reason, at a dinner at his girlfriend's house, Tim has a vision of his mother telling him to come home. And later that day, he gets a call that says that his mother has died. I don't really understand why it couldn't have just been one or the other. He didn't really need the premonition on top of his mother's death to come home, since he was already going to come home for the funeral. But whatever. And where did the premonition come from anyway? Is that within the scope of the Boogeyman's power? Is he able to leave the town as well? Are they pulling a House on Haunted Hill scenario here? Who knows? So anyway, he ends up going back home, and when do you know it, while exploring his house, the Boogeyman attacks him. Why? I don't know. Wouldn't the Boogeyman benefit from him thinking that it's all in his head, and then getting him when he has his defenses down? What was the point of blowing the element of surprise? Why did the Boogeyman even think he had a chance of killing him in broad daylight anyway? So then his girlfriend comes to visit him. I'm pretty sure he was just planning to stay there for like a weekend or something, and I don't understand why his girlfriend came to surprise him while he was mourning his mom. But okay. Okay, here's where we run into spoilers, if for some reason you care about the Boogeyman. So, his girlfriend dies. She had like 2 scenes before this. They at no point developed her or their relationship up to this point. She's literally in the movie just to die, and we're given no reason to feel bad for her. If anything, it might honestly be better that she died. Oh, and bigger spoiler, she's the only one who dies in the movie. What? And then Tim goes looking for her, ends up in a closet, and is sucked into the closet of his old house. Why was this necessary at all? His girlfriend just died in the hotel, so the Boogeyman is definitely not just restricted to Tim's house. And she died in the bathtub in a fully lit room. So closets aren't required for his powers to work. So not only is the Boogeyman's power not restricted to Tim's old house, he doesn't even need a closet to operate, apparently. And this is the biggest problem with this movie. It's hard to gauge what are the limits of the Boogeyman's power and what he's able to do and not able to do. So how do you build up a scene where he attacks somebody when you have no built up expectations of what he can do? He can do anything, essentially. But if that's the case, then how would Tim possibly fight him at all? Obviously, they're just going to write plot armor for him and just make him win. Which they do. And honestly, if he doesn't have the closet gimmick, then what's the point? Add to this that this late into the movie, they decide to add a major character. That's right, I guess they wanted Tim to have some sort of romantic love interest somehow, even though he already had a girlfriend. But because there's no characters in this movie, there's no body count. Again, it's just his girlfriend who dies. Oh, yeah, and his dad at the beginning.
Just us.
But then at this point, the movie tries to become more of a sophisticated thriller, because now everybody thinks that Tim killed his girlfriend. So at this point, the only other character who matters in the movie is brought back. Was it the one who they just spent time introducing and possibly having an arc? Nope. It's the random little girl from earlier in the movie. They had a whole backstory that she's some sort of spectral spirit who was taken by the Boogeyman as a child, and her father was a scientist who tried going to look for her by entering the Boogeyman's realm, who used to live in Tim's house. So at this point now, it seems that they want the location of the house to be specific to the plot, because the doctor trying to save his daughter lived there before Tim, and Tim manifested the boogeyman as a child in this house. But it doesn't make sense because the boogeyman is capable of going anywhere, at least within the confines of the town. Maybe he couldn't have gotten Tim back home, but at any point during this movie, he could have killed Tim. And it seems like he's struggling to. I don't know why, because he's seemingly omnipotent, but okay. But now it's happening. Tim faces off against the boogeyman in the stupidest piece of shit climax where the boogeyman, who can at any point easily kill Tim, just keeps dragging him through doorways into other closets from different time periods. So this also kind of raises questions. Why doesn't he just kill him? If he isn't confined to the house because he's going through all these other closets outside of the town, then why does Tim specifically matter? Like, he could have just kept doing what he was doing. Like, maybe Tim was the one who got away and he feels some sort of vengeance against him. But the boogeyman's an idiot regardless, because he could have just waited for the father to leave and then killed Tim. And then kill the father too. Is there some sort of Freddy Krueger-like effect where he loses his power when the memory of him disappears? And Tim is the only one who remembers him, maybe? I don't know. They never explain any of this. So you want to know how it ends? Tim comes to the conclusion that the boogeyman is manifested from toys he was afraid of at nighttime in his childhood bedroom. He starts smashing the toys and destroys the boogeyman while doing so. Does that mean that the boogeyman was specifically created by Tim? How could it be? Where did he get all of these other kids from? Were you planning to get any resolution? Well, too bad, because the movie ends immediately after this, when Tim looks out to the sunrise from a window. It sucks. The whole movie's stupid, and I watched this multiple times as a kid, and I rewatched this again for this video because I'm stupid. Don't watch this, or do, I don't care. Oh, and he doesn't even kill the boogeyman anyway, and that's right. That means that this movie got sequels. It's a franchise. I haven't seen the other two movies. I can't imagine how shitty they're gonna be if they're direct-to-video sequels of an already shitty movie. You know what's also weird? When I was a kid, I heard this rumor that the original ending to the movie just had Tim staring out the window, but then the camera would zoom back and it would reveal him on a missing poster. I think maybe the idea was that Tim became one of the missing children and didn't actually win. I don't know why, but whenever these stories end with the main character ending up somewhere supernatural and not even knowing it, it's so creepy to me. That ending might have actually redeemed the movie for me somewhat, but I'm pretty sure it's bullshit, and so is this movie. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that.